Hi, Joe Cerrone.
And Al Rosa.
Welcome to CAD 118, Advanced AutoCAD, and our first Zoom classroom meeting. Alrighty, so we'll be using the D2L course management software for this class, and every week we'll hold a Zoom classroom meeting. And so here in the main splash page, we have the video that we sent out last week telling you about the course. And then here in our splash page, we have our announcements. And so every week on Tuesdays at 11:45, we will hold a Zoom classroom meeting. We'll use the same link. You just click on this link and you'll be able to join. We have information for how to download the software and our textbook information. We'll be using the Windows version of AutoCAD 2023, but you can use an older version. It doesn't look that much different. Usually they just change the color of the icons or add a few new features. But from a basic standpoint, the software, if you've got it already set up and running and it's a previous version, is fine, but you're welcome to download the newer versions. The textbook we'll be using is this book right here, AutoCAD 2022 3D Modeling. They didn't have a 23 version out. They may have actually, but we had the course already set up for the 2022. And so you can use the 2023, but again, there's no big change for that. And so book is $49, and what we will be doing is following it chapter by chapter. Back to the main splash page. And then we have a couple of other textbooks that we're adding more content. And so we started using this book last year because the other book that we had was a very good book, but it went out of print. And so we'll pull some assignments from AutoCAD 3D Modeling. It's a reference. You don't have to purchase this book. And we'll also pull some assignments from AutoCAD 3D Tutorials. And what's nice is they go through things like lofting and working with some of these complicated 3D modeling commands, and they're set up in a step-by-step manner. And so as we continue to develop the course, we've upgraded the textbooks and provided content that's relative and up to date. The best way to get a hold of us is using D2L email. And so you can email me and Al, email us together if you have a question, and you can hit this link right here in the message alerts. And what that'll do is it'll give us an orange bubble that tells us that there's an email, and then we'll know that we need to reply to it. We'll typically cover one module per week. We'll go through chapter by chapter. Again, here's the information on how to install the software. And then for assistance, we realize that not everybody can make it to class, but we do like to have in person. And so Tuesdays and Thursdays we are virtual. And so Tuesdays and Thursdays we will be scheduling Zoom meetings. You can request a meeting on Thursdays for individual help, and so individual Zoom classroom on Thursdays. This actually starts at 8:30. We'll update that to 8:30, but request a meeting if you have something that you would like to go through, and we'll work with you on that. And then in person, you're welcome to attend Skokie campus, room P132, Mondays. We're there Wednesdays and Sundays as well, but for this course we have the time for student assistance here. Module 1 basically maps to the textbook, and we go through these different commands for basic AutoCAD. And so we'll go through how to use the interface, how to view 3D models, and how to use the user coordinate system. And then we'll look at some of these practice exercise, just basic navigation type work. We have 3 YouTube videos, and so these are the videos that explain how to do the assignments. And so if we click on the link, it'll map to the YouTube. And then as we go through, I'll explain to you how we created these. And this is just created with primitives. We've been doing these courses for a number of years, and we feel that this is an essential aspect to working with CAD. And this is just basic geometries. And so, this is sort of a snow cone exercise where you'll create a solid sphere, a torus, and a cone. And then we'll use three-dimensional object snaps to align them. So as you start working with 3 dimensions, being able to align and to be able to get things to fit together is the goal on that. And so we've created these YouTube videos with assignments showing you how to work them. And it's a visual thing. If you read the book, it's much harder to learn how to draw on CAD by reading than it is by watching a YouTube video. And so we've created these YouTube videos for you. Alrighty. In the calendar of events, we'll have announcements. And so Al will put the announcements in here. There is a pre-test due on Sunday at 11:59. And that, since the course is online and asynchronous, students need to show participation the first week or they will be dropped from the course. And this is just standard policy by Oakton. And so we have the first assignment due on Sunday at 11:59, and I'll talk about that shortly. Syllabus, welcome, other information, and then our module 1 is due on, and I think we're going to push this back, Al. This should be a week later, I think, because that's pretty soon. You're welcome to get that done on the 24th, but we're going to push this back to the 1st. That way students who might have some software issues, if you get it done on time or by the 26th early, that's great. But typically I like to have 2 weeks. Alrighty. So the course splash page will have information about what we're doing each week. We'll put in the announcement, and then we'll record and post that to the announcement. So keep an eye on the main splash page every week. Student assistance is available, and here's our first module. Content area is where we have our information about the course. And so this is the same information, but it's all organized, and we're going to look at this from top to bottom. And so we have the overview, the syllabus, the outline of topics, etc. Contact information for us is given right here. Textbook information and office hours if you want to come in and meet in person. Continuing. Syllabus. CAD 118. 117 is recommended but not required. We have students with CAD skills that will want to just learn how to do the modeling. And so this is the last course in the AutoCAD certificate, and we'll go through modeling components of both mechanical and architectural drawings. And that's for digital manufacturing and prototyping. And so we want vocational skills. And we'll look at being able to use the CAD system to analyze drawing problems, be proficient, and then to create assembly drawings or large-scale drawings. Academic integrity talks a little bit about things that you need to do from policy standpoint. We'll look at the outline of topics momentarily. Methods of instruction will be online tutorials and readings from the textbook and videos. Essentially, we'll follow the textbook chapter by chapter, and then we'll have drawing assignments that will create videos and show you how to do those. And then we'll assess, seeing if you're understanding it by having you take a quiz. Make sure that you do the pretest the first week, or you could be dropped. And then other course practices are to do the labs and the quizzes and the assignments in a timely fashion. We'll use these 3 textbooks. This is the only one that's required. And I'm sorry, it's the AutoCAD. Yes, it is. This is the only one that's required, AutoCAD 2022 3D modeling. The other 2 textbooks will just pull some assignments. They're for reference. Scaling for grades 90, 80, 70. A, B, and C. Turn in your drawings on time, or you may have a late deduction. Other course information, as far as if you need additional support, there's counseling, other information for things that students may need assistance with, and building closure information is also contained within the syllabus. Alrighty, to the table of contents. So that's the syllabus, and then we'll follow the outline of topics. And so if you're wondering, what am I doing this week? You look at this main splash page, and then what we're doing is we're mapping what we're doing to this outline of topics. And so first week, Chapter 1, AutoCAD 3D, Module 1. Next week, we'll go through Solids, Chapter 2, and then the following week, we'll go through each of these different topics, and then we'll add those into the components. Midterm will be in the end of October, and then we'll finish the course in December. On the 12th will be our last day. All right. Textbook. We've enabled, let me go in as a student. We've enabled a few of the chapters of the textbook, and so Chapter 1, if you haven't picked up the textbook, allows you to read it going through the digital interface, 3D model, and the UCS commands. It's a very well written book. I think the author got into some nice content. His assignments are okay. We can add additional assignments, but he's really quite good at going through three-dimensional aspects, working with coordinate systems, and setting up the drawing interface. And so the first assignments go through navigation and orbiting and working with the 3D interface. All right. Title blocks. We'll be using title blocks for mechanical, metric, and architectural title blocks. So depending on the type of assignment, the title blocks are set up so that we can work within those different drawing learning objectives. And so things like mechanical drawings typically have decimal units, and architectural drawings are typically in feet and inches. And so those title blocks will be used for those drawings. Pretest. Here's what the pretest looks like. Again, we just want to get a little bit of information about you and why you're taking the class and what you would like to learn. Back to the table of contents. For the pretest, what you're going to do is you're going to turn that into the assignments folder. And so for the pretest, what you will do is you will download it. You'll open it. You will answer the questions, put your name on it. I'm just going to save so I can show what this will look like. I'm going to save this into my downloads. I'll just add my initials so that I can see that. Save it. And then to turn that drawing in, what you're going to do, or to turn in the pretest, is you'll go to the assignments and you'll go to the pretest. And then what you will do is you will add a file. And so we'll use this as a way to turn in our assignments. You can also do record audio if you want to add a message or a video. We've actually had some students that have started doing that. Add a file. I can just locate that file in my downloads. So here's my 118. Open, add it. And then if you want to add some information like you can use this as a way to communicate with your instructor. When I submit, you will get a message that says that your file submission was successful, and you'll get one of these little orange bubbles that says that you have turned in the assignment. And so we'll get a message alert for that. You can say done. Back to the main splash page. Over to the content section. So that's the pretest, and we're just going through this course top to bottom on our left side to navigate. Module 1 is basic 3D basics, how to use the 3D interface, how to view the 3D model, and how to use the UCS commands. And then they have these different applications. Here's the practice files. You can download those. And then here's the PDFs of those files. And so if we look at Lab 1, Lab 1 is going to be this exercise right here. Back to Module 1. And then we have video lectures. And so here's the video for Lab 1. And so as we go through, I'll create these videos. And this is just basic navigation, using the orbit tool, being able to navigate the world coordinate system. And so what I like to do is I like to map the reading assignments to hands-on demos, where I'll flip from the textbook into the drawing assignment, and then I'll show how to use that command. And so here we are orbiting using the downloaded model. Escape, pause, back to D2L in the assignments. And so as we look at our assignments here, what we're looking at is these are the 3 from the textbook, and then these are the 2 from the Joe and Al book. And so as we go through and we create these different drawings, we'll have videos that demonstrate how to work with it. And so for example, in this exercise, it's kind of neat. You work with steering wheels, and so you can go through and you can grab an isometric view, and you've kind of got this cityscape. If you're good with CAD and you want to embellish it, maybe go through and add some colors to the buildings and things like that, using some of the properties and things like that that you'll learn. It's really at that point in the course where that's what we want to do. And so in this one exercise, we go through and we use things like steering wheels and things like that. And so you can go to steering wheels, and then you can go through and you can orbit, or you can walk. And then as you walk, you can kind of drag it and be able to navigate through these different aspects of working with the CAD system and being able to navigate. I'm not a big steering wheel person, but it is kind of neat, you know, and as you go into it, I don't necessarily want to do everything the same old way. But as we grow the course, Al and I have some great assignments that we've developed over the years in our AutoCAD experience. And so this one here has you using the dynamic UCS to put the UCS and then be able to go ahead and model things, as well as these other 2 drawing assignments that we've pulled from our standard drawing type work. All right, let's go back to our splash page, to our content. We've created videos, and so the videos will go through and explain how to work with the assignments. Module 1 is on the 3D basics, and then we have Module 2 available for you as well, which continues, and we'll go through this next week. We'll create more models. And so here's a model of a start flag and a mechanical gizmo and another mechanical project, and we'll go through and we'll create these different drawings. And like we talked about, we have the assignments and videotapes. Here's the downloads for the assignments, and then here's the YouTube video tutorials. Under quizzes and exams, you'll take a quiz for each of the chapters, and so quiz chapter 1, and these are basically questions from the end of the chapters, and so you'll go through and answer the quiz at the end of the chapter, and I believe those are worth 10 points each. So as a recap, we're going to be holding Zoom meetings every week. We'll put the assignments and when they're due in the calendar. Under the content area, we'll follow the outline of topics. Each week we'll cover a different aspect. Blue is reading assignments, green is hands-on drawing, and red are quizzes. And so each week we'll cover these different topics. We'll have a midterm at the end of October, and the course will finish up on December 12th. We've got the first 2 modules released. Make sure that you do the pretest to show that you are in attendance and that you understand the course has started. And then here's module 1. This will be due October 1st, Sunday. We don't turn off the Dropbox, so if you want to turn this in October 2nd, that's acceptable, but it's late. And so we want to pace the course and tell students, when things are due so they can plan their time accordingly. But you can turn things in late, and you can request additional time if you need more time. And then here's our module 2 aspect. All right. So with that, Al, I'm just going to ask you if there's anything else that we need to cover before I stop the recording and we open things up for questions for students in attendance.
No, I think everything worked out great.
Sounds good. All right, I'm going to stop the recording. We'll post the recording in the announcements, and then we'll open up our time for anybody who wants to do CAD assignments online.